Hello, Libra. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So Libra, tonight we start with that Aeon card. Yeah, it's all about, well, things coming together and then coming apart, right? The natural cycles of the universe. All of the things and the roles that they play. Right? And I often think of the symbolism of the ladder or Jacob's ladder, the micro to the macro. If you could think of, things on different levels, right? Like if we think about how a tree, its roots, its branches, they resemble the vascular system of a human, right? And so, and then these also, resemble certain kinds of phenomena that happen or that we perceive in the cosmos, right? Out in space. And we would think of that as macro. Maybe we would think of the tree as kind of a middle rung, and our vascular system, as at least in this example, as being kind of the micro, the smallest bit. Although, of course, there are smaller that also resemble these systems. So everything is everything reflected on all levels. And so we see that in this card. Now, when this energy comes around, I know there's a fundamental shift happening. Something inside of you has changed. If that is intentional, or if you just woke up one day and you felt different. This is the indicator that's happening or coming, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look. Let's see what the tea leaves are going to tell us. Okay, we're going to see what's going on. Oh, where's my monitor? My filming studio setup is just... It's a mess right now. My husband, shout out to my husband over in Dove and Serpent Tarot. I can say it. I know what it is. His name's Paul. That's my husband. Anyways, we've been moving some lighting around and changing some stuff and soundproofing. And anyways, my studio is in disarray, so I'm sorry. Everything's just kind of a mess right now. It will be back together in just a day or two, but still drives me a little nuts. All right, let's see. We have the number 56 right up here. Oh, actually, it looks like 5690. 5,690. Okay, 5690. We also have, it looks like, and if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I have to say it for the algorithm, but I also love hearing from you. And if you have a prayer request, please put it in the comments. My husband and I both, we pray multiple times a day for all of the prayer requests we get and the requests of good energy and so on. We're all about it. It's so important. Prayer to me is one of the most important practices. I mean, it not only for ourselves, but for us collectively and for the, people or the situations, but it is just getting that dialogue going. Even, if whatever you believe in or don't believe in, doesn't matter. Having that interior dialogue and also, compassion, empathy. These are all things we have to practice. We might have some innate quality that is compassionate, that is, empathetic, but these are also things that we need to learn how to do and do better. And a lot of us, we do. We need even more practice, right? I know I do. So anyways, it's nice to see you. Thank you for being here. We have right here 2 people, okay? We have one that seems to be enthroned. We have another that looks like they're kneeling, okay? We have up here, it looks like, I'm looking at it as a child, the body being small and this head being kind of big, and there's like a little ponytail in the eyes and the nose. And then over here we have the hen, okay? So the mother archetype. I almost feel like some amount of guilt here. We have the owl perched up here too, and we have a person up here who looks like they're like skiing or maybe skateboarding. You can see the arms are raised, the head, the legs, and then on top of something there. So I'm going to take that as being kind of daring. So I feel that you had a strong feminine personality in your life, like a mother, a grandmother who ruled over all of their kingdom, right? They are the ones that were the head of the family. Maybe they still are. Everybody bowed down to them. Everybody. You could not go against them. You hope that your feelings, opinion, wants, desires, needs all aligned with their concepts, ideas, worldviews, because if not, if you dared to deviate and express that, oh boy, were you in for it. But here's the deal. A person like this, even if they do want everybody to see things as they see them, and they will not be inconvenienced, otherwise they will not even begin to humor it, right? This person inevitably will raise a couple, maybe 1, maybe 2, who knows, rebels, people who are resolved in their ideas. And I think that's you. You are the black sheep of the family. I'm sorry if you didn't know. I'm telling you now. Because you have not been afraid at times to do the things that you want to do. You know, maybe this person, this mother, this grandmother, this sister, whoever it is, maybe they wanted you to like go to a different college or marry a different person or, you know, have one more kid or whatever it is. You know, these are all things that family members feel like they can, you know, weigh in on, even if you didn't ask them. But I feel like for you, it's like, dude, you know what? I am going to live how I'm going to live. And also, I'm not in control of all of these things. Some of them just, they are what they are, and it is what it is. And I feel like probably at a fairly young age, you decided that you weren't going to perform any longer. You're not going to jump through the hoops. You're not going to hold your tongue. And I feel like, you know, this at times has made for some trouble. But at the same time, I feel that it has also solidified your relationship with this person, because even though they might get really angry and really kind of push you away at times, especially when you were younger, I feel like, you know, now you connect really deeply. And yeah, I feel like there are other people in the family that are continuing and will always probably be pretty subservient to this person. And I don't think that you necessarily like that. But I think that you have grown up. You see it for what it is, and this is your family. And I don't know what that means. We all have complex families. We all have people that we have in our lives that maybe are pretty miserable and pretty bossy and pretty, little dictators of, everybody else. And I said, little, I have a 5-year-old. I have a 5-year-old daughter who has a lot of opinion. I thought I was bossy. Ooh, girl. I have a Gemini daughter who's 5 years old and obsessed with JoJo Siwa. My daughter is a boss. She's a little bossy boss. But yeah, you love them. And sometimes, I don't know, to be embraced by somebody who is always in this place of power, it doesn't always feel bad, right? Especially if it is the head of your family. So on some level, I feel like you're the black sheep, but you're also, in a way, kind of the favorite. And that just seems like a weird dynamic that Libra would pull off. Of course you would. You do things like unconventionally as heck. Like it's like mostly conventional, then you put your own twists on it. So I feel there is a strong solidification here. Okay. Now, the other thing I'm looking at is seems to be a fair amount of concern about money and wellness, physical wellness. But we have the goldfish over here. So that tells me that you're coming into a sustained period of ease in these departments. So if you're somebody who's been getting like sick all year or, since last fall, probably, if you've been getting sick, just one thing after another, you've been run down, you're just not feeling the best, or maybe you have a chronic illness and you have flare-ups and, the whole deal. This will be a period where, things feel like they are like consistently okay. Now, I'm not saying there's some miracle here or, I'm obviously not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm, nobody important. I'm not licensed or anything. But I'm somebody who can read the symbols and I get feelings. And, I don't know how it all works, but it does. And so the goldfish is very much about, health, longevity, prosperity. But I think for you, it is. It's about this period of time where you might even go like a whole 24 hours and you don't even get a headache. Or you don't even think about like, oh, I feel like, ugh, today. Or, oh no, I'm starting to, feel like I'm getting the symptoms that are ramping up into something or whatever. Don't think that you're going to have any of that kind of stuff. So that's important. Now, the other part of it is the money, okay? Of course, I feel like all of us have money stuff going on. We're thinking about money and the economy and the way the world is and, everything else. But I feel like for you, there's going to be an opportunity here coming up. And I'm seeing these people up here holding hands. There's one here, and their hands are locked together. Now we have birds sitting up here, and we have a person over here who's wearing it looks like even like a dress that has a face on it. Okay, so this feels like a goddess as well because we have the lunar crescent above head. Okay, it also looks like it says ICP, so maybe they're a juggalo or a juggalette or whatever. Woo woo, So dancing, merriment. We have a bird. Look at this bird coming in. Here's the head, the body, the wings. So a message, we also have the square. The square is so important because it really is a symbol, not only of the earth element, but everything coming into position. Okay. If you think of a foundation, and usually, they can be shaped in many ways, but if you could see it as a perfect square, right? And it's level, it is put together in such a way that thing's never going to crack, right? It's never going to shift. We are golden. Everything is on the level. Everything is squared away. I'm standing on my square. That means that you have it together. Oh boy, do you have it together? So I see you coming into a situation where, there might be a new job. There might be a side hustle. There might be a business opportunity for you. You might be the business opportunity yourself. Maybe you're making content. Maybe you're starting a channel. Maybe, you have some other gift that you are going to use, some skill to expand your opportunities, right? We live in a time where I don't really know that many people who don't have multiple streams of income, not because they have the time or the want, but because the necessity is there, right? We need to know how to do multiple things. We need to be good at a lot of things. And so I feel like this is a situation where there is this mother goddess energy, really, and it is a lunar one, so it is creative. It is also risky, but it is blessed. This is the courage. This is that thing that when you wake up at like 3 a.m. and, most days you would be scared to walk across the house with the lights off. But today you get up, you go right outside into the backyard and you look up at the moon and you don't care. You can hear the coyotes, you can hear the trees, in the breeze, you can hear the little crinkling of dry leaves. Oh my gosh, what is that? Who knows? Is it big? It sounds big. I don't know what it is. But you're brave. You're brave. There's nothing that's going to stop you from communing with that night, with that creativity, with that swollenness of the mother, right? That fertility. And so I feel that this is going to be something that ends up maybe even overtaking your main income. This is like you start a little side business and you think, well, I like, I don't know, like maybe you embroider pillows or something, which embroidery is super cool, by the way. And you start like an Etsy shop or whatever, right? Something that we all have seen happen with people and we understand the process to some degree, okay? So you get where I'm going. You start a little thing and, you work, you have a 9 to 5 or whatever, and you're doing pretty dang well. You've been there for years and you don't mind it. It's not bad, but, it's not like your reason for being on the earth or anything. So you start this little business and you think it'll be something, I'll just throw it up there, see if anybody, likes what I'm making. And all of a sudden you're starting to get, some purchases and you're starting to do more. And now you're going to like farmers markets and, little craft shows and that kind of thing. And you're working up and you're building this business and it's starting to actually make you some decent money. And you're putting your efforts into it, right? And all of a sudden that job kind of is like, okay, well, I'm still making, decent money at this job, but now maybe I need less hours, whatever. You see where I'm going. This is an energy that I feel, that excitedness, that confusion, that, oh my gosh, what's going on? All of a sudden, this is it. This is my focus. And it doesn't even feel, listen, I hate when people say, It doesn't. If you work for yourself and you like what you do, it doesn't feel like work. Baby, it feels like work. Of course it does. Of course it does. We're working all the time. There's a lot of stuff that goes into running a business, and you just don't know about it until you're doing it, right? And so, it feels like work, but you like it. You enjoy it. You like to meet today and get the thing going, right? And that feels fantastic. Let me tell you. When you figure out how to do something without anybody standing over you, breathing down your neck, making your own, you're making your own schedule. But you know what? Here's the deal. When you really get into what you're doing, I work so much more than I did when I worked a 9 to 5 or I waited tables mostly. It wasn't really 9 to 5, but I work doubles all the time waiting. I mean, you just do. If you've ever been a waitress or worked at a restaurant, there's like always an opportunity for more hours. So, but having my own thing going, I work so much more because I love what I do. And I know that if I want to make money, I got to do something, right? Nobody's going to take pity on me and, oh, here's some money because, I know you didn't feel like working. No, I make as much money as the time I put into things. And I don't know, that unlocks something within me that made me want to do it for the first time in my life. Not that I didn't like working in the food industry. I did very much. But the first time in my life, I felt like I want to do this dang thing, man. I get the chariot out. We're going to town, So I feel like for you, there is that feeling. That's the feeling I'm looking for here to try to describe. That motivation, that excitement, that dancing, that merriment, that I love being here. I love being here. I love waking up and my first thought is, man, what's on the agenda today? And my last thought of the night being, what do I got to do tomorrow? I mean, we get to try all kinds of stuff, And it's like, that is so... It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. So if you ever do have the opportunity, lean into it. Please. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? 62. We have a bath. I think that you are somebody who enjoys baths. Questions. We have some animals and a letter and questions. And we have the number 329. I feel like we have a person sitting here and there are animals around them. So I feel like you are somebody who is drawn to animals, maybe even taking care of them, like a vet, or maybe you volunteer at a shelter or something. I feel like this is your happy place. This is where you really excel in life. This is where you really derive a lot of love and pleasure and it is like a form of deep familiar intimacy, really. And intimacy is not just, hooking up or whatever. I mean a belovedness, a partnership. You can count on that dog and that dog can count on you. That kind of energy. Best friends, grew up together, beloved. I feel like you've had always animals in your life. You're always taking care of them. And I feel like maybe this is that shift in your life where you start to consider finding a way that you could take care of animals or be around animals or whatever it is, and also be working. So maybe that's where the business is going, in some kind of animal care, whatever zone. Now, on the other hand, it could be that this shift in how you're going to be making money, leads you to be able to live in such a way where you can be with your animals more. Maybe you are somebody who has always wanted to have aquariums or terrariums or chickens or goats or, go off grid or homesteading or, whatever it is. This work will allot for more of that. Okay. So I do see you headed in that direction, which seems like the one that you really want to be headed in. So let's see. We have number 4. Number 22, number 76. All right. Those are our lucky numbers, and we'll end with our Wild Bohemian affirmation cards, and I'll stop where it feels right. And it says, number 28, I am seer. Contemplate all of your gifts and siddhis. You are more than you know. You are more than you know. All right. Libra, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here with me. If you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a prayer request, put it in the comments, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. Other than that, I'm going to say again, I love you. Please take care of yourself. Happy new moon. We're at the new moon, right, as we speak. And yeah. I love you. We'll talk soon. Good night.